Well, Pence and Democrat nominee Kamala Harris are in Salt Lake City, Utah, where, of course, they are set to take to the debate stage tonight. To preview that event, I do want to bring in the Deputy Communications Director for the RNC, Cassie Smedile. Hi, Cassie. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
The VP debate tonight will cover 9 topics. Those topics, though, have not been released ahead of time like they were last week. We didn't get to hear a lot of policy discussion from President Trump and Biden last week. Do you expect, though, to hear more policy tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Vice President Pence is going to pick up where the president left off, not only in talking about the successes of the America First agenda, but in also pushing Kamala Harris to finally admit some of the radical positions that we know that the Biden-Harris ticket holds and has yet been unwilling to be that forthcoming with, because they know that they are unappealing to the vast majority of voters. So I expect to see, to the extent that we're going to see fireworks tonight, it'll probably come from the vice president really pushing Ms. Harris on those issues.
Speaking of that, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were, of course, opponents in the Democrat primary. She leveled some pretty pointed attacks against Biden in previous Democrat debates. Do you expect Pence to highlight that shift in her tone? And what else is he expected to hit Harris on tonight?
Yeah, I do, and he should. Certainly, when you just look at, she called him a racist. She also said that she believed his accusers, Tara Reade and others. So have both of those things changed? Those are about 2 of the heaviest things you can level against a person. And for her to now be his running mate, I think we all deserve some clarity on where she stands on those issues. I think certainly we deserve clarity on where she stands on packing the Supreme Court, an issue that she has backed. But her running mate, Joe Biden, has been a little cagey on it, and so we think that's why she started to be cagey. But make no mistake, as they both have a bit of a Freudian slip, it's the Harris-Biden campaign as much as it's the Biden-Harris campaign. So incredibly important to know where she stands on those issues, where she stands on fracking and the Green New Deal, and certainly where she stands on her opponent's plan, or her colleague's plan, rather, to raise taxes on 80% of Americans. These are all things that he can push her on tonight. I think Vice President Pence has a real way about him. He's a calming but authoritative presence. You know that he has done his homework. You know that he's done his preparation. And I think that he's got his plans well intact for when he can hedge those pressure points in there tonight.
This entire election has, of course, been, the background of it has been the unrest happening in several Democrat-run cities across the country. Do you expect Pence tonight to bring up that unrest, and then also Harris's past as the Attorney General of California, her shady past on putting more black people in jail than her predecessors?
Yeah, absolutely. On that first point about law and order in these cities, it was Kamala Harris who encouraged her staff and the people writ large to donate to the bailout funds for the rioters, something that for so many who lost their livelihoods, who had their safe streets turned into war zones, that should be fearsome for all of us. And then to talk about her past history in California as the prosecutor and the DA, where she was a political opportunist. She, in one side of her mouth, said that she was for police, and the other side of the mouth refused to prosecute those who targeted police. These are things that people need to see in prime time, in the spotlight. The mainstream media has covered for not just Kamala Harris, but also Joe Biden on these issues. We know they are priority issues for so many voters, and they deserve to hear directly from Kamala Harris where she stands on these issues. And if she is going to continue to use them for political opportunism, we need to know that too.
Now, heading into tonight, changes have been made by the debate commission after the coronavirus outbreak happening at the White House. What are the changes the Trump and Pence campaign has agreed to abide by tonight?
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier about the dividers. There's going to be clear plexiglass dividers on both sides. I particularly appreciated the vice president's comms director who said, you know, if Kamala Harris wants to put herself in a fortress, by all means, have at it. And I think that's really how the vice president feels about it. They've been tested. They're negative. The vice president has been taking all the proper precautions as outlined by the CDC. They're sitting 12 feet apart instead of just the requisite 6 feet apart. So he's really gone above and beyond to make everybody feel, quote, comfortable. But at the end of the day, this is going to be about the answers, and there's no divider that will be able to hide or protect her from receiving those questions from the vice president when he really starts to put the pressure on her.
All right, Cassie Smedile, Deputy Communications Director for the RNC, joining us to preview tonight's VP debate. Thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.